Welcome back, everybody. Thanks again for being with us here on KXAN News at 4. So mid-August is usually when we see a ramp up in the tropics, and we still have not seen our first hurricane. But meteorologist Freddy Vela is here, and Freddy, that could soon change.
It could change as early as this afternoon,
Wow.
where we could get our first hurricane for the season so far. So let's go ahead and talk about what's happening in the tropics first, and then we'll go a little more in depth. First, let's see what's developing out there. These are the latest numbers that have been coming in for a few areas of interest. Now, we had the one that was off the coast, the East Coast. That one, 10% chance. It's already moving into colder waters. I don't anticipate anything from that one. Then we have another little storm that was in the Atlantic as well. That one took a curve up, and that one also a 10% chance of it developing. Expecting that to go into colder water as well. Not very much there. And then we have in the Gulf another area of interest that, again, not expecting that to develop, but it is going to move a bit out towards the west and could bring us some showers for Thursday and Friday. So that's our next, at least, rain maker for us. I don't expect that we'll see very much rain, but we're going to monitor that to see if that could bump up our rain chances. So there's also Tropical Storm Erin. Now that one is just off the coast of Africa. That one could possibly become our very first hurricane later this afternoon. Now, the model hasn't updated just yet, so it's saying that it'll stay a tropical storm at least through Wednesday, but I'm keeping my eye on it to see if it'll become our very first hurricane later on this afternoon. National Hurricane Center, they're also keeping an eye on it. They're sending out a hurricane hunter as well, and they'll update that as needed. It could also become our very first major hurricane of the season. They're expecting that by Saturday, but obviously maybe a little earlier. And based off of what we're seeing here, and based off the cone of uncertainty, based off of the high that we have out in the Atlantic, that could swing a bit farther out towards the north. Now, this is still very far away. Obviously, the cone of uncertainty showing a lot of possibilities here, and we'll continue to monitor that because a lot can change. So you're probably wondering, well, when do we normally see our very first tropical storm, our very first hurricane, our very first major hurricane? These are some of the numbers that I was able to pull up. We're going in depth now of the progress of the average hurricane season. So as you can see, our very first tropical storm on average between 1991 and 2020 was around June 20th. Our very first hurricane is usually on August 11th. And lo and behold, we're on August 11th, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there if we get our very first hurricane for today. Now, our very first major hurricane on average is September 1st. But as we see, we could see Erin become a major hurricane. So we'll continue to monitor that to see if we are a little ahead of the major category. Now, tropical storms, you can see June 17th, August 3rd, August 15th, and August 22nd. That's usually when we see our second, third, and fourth and fifth tropical storms respectively. And then our hurricanes, you can see normally our second named second hurricane would be on August 26th. So a lot that we're watching here to see if Erin will actually make us on, or put us on average, and then of course move us into major. Also, our very first hurricane of the season normally, as I mentioned, is around August 11th. But as you can see over the past couple of years, well, that's been a little earlier. June 29th for 2024, July 18th on 2023, and we actually had to wait a little longer, September 2nd for 2022 to get our very first hurricane. So we have no date there just yet, but I may have to add August 11th for 2025. And that got me thinking, okay, well, then what is it like for the past 5 years overall for tropical storm, hurricane, and major? And as you can see, for major hurricanes, that's the one I'm going to focus on right now. June 30th was when we had our very first major hurricane of 2024. Hurricane Beryl, do we remember that one? In 2023, August 28th. In 2022, September 20th. And then on 2021, August 21st. So a lot going on here. And if this seems a little confusing, don't worry. We have a website that you can go to KXAN.com. We have an article on there called The Tropical Tracker. It's put together by our very own Christopher Adams. He does really great work there with the Data Hub and is able to break down all the numbers for you. And of course, we'll have that on our website. All right, let's bring it back home and we'll talk about what's happening here because, folks, we are having another upper 90s day. Look at that, 98 degrees right now in Austin, 93 in Dripping Springs, 96 in Bastrop, already 100 farther down towards the bottom part of Caldwell County, 96 in Cameron, and 94 as you reach out towards Mason. So it is hot outside. We have a lot of sunshine right now, a little bit of cloud coverage, partly cloudy overall. We have two areas that have had kind of some showers. It's out towards Houston, not very much there, and then well past San Saba, we see a few of those showers northeast of San Angelo. For tonight, though, we'll be back down to around 77 degrees, mostly clear and warm and humid, with winds light and variable for the night so far. Tomorrow, we'll be right back where we're at today. 98 in Austin, 96 in Dripping Springs, 93 in Blanco, 99 in San Marcos. High temperatures over the next few days, pretty much staying in the upper 90s all the way through, which is around average, 99 for this time of year. But you're probably wondering, well, where was that rain chance for today? Well, most of it stayed farther out towards the east part. We'll continue to watch our graph or radar and satellite to see if any of those showers actually try to come in. I don't expect very much for today. Tomorrow, we still have at least a decent chance, and that's why I'm giving it a 10% chance. I feel like the graph is kind of cooking this up just a bit more than where it really needs to be, but at least this gives us an idea that we could see a few showers out there. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. 98 over the next couple of days, 99 as we get out towards Thursday, 98 on Friday as we get into Saturday. Remember, I mentioned that area in the Gulf that could bring us a 10% chance of rain for Friday and Saturday. All right, folks, keep it here. We have more coming up after the break.